Hi, everyone. Today, I wanted to speak more to the SEO consultants out there. Maybe you're just getting started, maybe you're newer to SEO. Um, Maybe you've been in the industry for a while and looking for more freelance opportunities and kind of trying to navigate where we are right now with the job market being so tough. Um, So let's dive in. So first I wanted to address, you know, being at an agency and being put in a role that maybe isn't your cup of tea. Maybe you're working on things that just aren't interesting to you. Um, and I think just I always kept the perspective of, being in whatever role, building some sort of skill that I can take to the next level. And if I feel like I'm lacking in one area, I always utilized my side hustle in order to fill that gap. And I think that's just really served me well in feeling like I'm not being stagnant. Um, I've been in so many roles where I was kind of cornered into a very specific area, and maybe I wasn't really feeling like I was growing that much. So, there are a couple of things that I want to address with that situation because, one, if you're at a company and you have a manager that's, actually genuinely cares about your professional growth, I think it's important to bring up your goals. And be your best advocate because oftentimes people and organizations, they will kind of drive their best performers, they will grind them. And if you're not speaking up for yourself, then, you're losing an opportunity to kind of refine the role in a way that best suits, work-life balance and that helps kind of align to your next goal. So I think more often than not, the managers out there really do want to help you with your professional growth. It's just a matter of figuring out how to communicate that effectively. And, something to keep in mind, not getting like overly emotional too. Um, Depending on the relationship between you two, it's, I think it's important to articulate exactly what it would look like for you to reach your goals and coming up with a plan with your manager that will align with that, and that's going to help with your motivation on the day to day too, and outlining expectations of you. If you are being overworked, you need to be able to speak up for yourself, um because I see that so often where top performers, they just they just keep dishing more to their plate, and then they start drowning. So, um, managers need to be aware of that as well. Just checking in with your top performers. Are they happy? Are they overworked? And what can you do to support them? What can you do to address these concerns? So I think that's really important because I have seen so many times where the top performers end up leaving because they're just overworked and they feel like no one's going to listen to them. So they literally just find somewhere else. And of course, those other companies are happy to have them because they're so good at what they do. Um, so I think that's, really important to keep in mind for both the manager and the person in that role. The next thing that I wanted to bring up, it applies more to kind of a junior specialist or someone that's newer to the industry. And if you're feeling like I'm in this role, I'm not even learning SEO strategy or anything that's aligned with my real top priorities of what to learn, because I see myself, growing in this area, but I don't see this specific role helping me get there. So what can you do on your end if you may not have that many options? Because with the job market today, it's very difficult. And so you might feel kind of stuck. But in order to be your best advocate, one, express your goals, but then two, take matters into your own hands. And what I've always done, and not saying that I have all the answers, but it's worked for me and it might kind of inspire you. I've always kind of kept the door open to freelance opportunities. And if there ever was something that I was really wanting to learn more of, I would work diligently to get that opportunity. So sending out applications, whether it's, part-time or freelance work, contract work, just on the side, and not overworking myself too much, but then, also using my network. Like if somebody's looking for freelance or side work, use your LinkedIn profile, and then SEOjobs.com. So that's a great way to find part-time work, and then just make connections that way. So even if you get on the interview and you don't end up getting the role, but you're able to develop that connection still. So I think that's really important, just building your network. And then, asking people around, like, is there any opportunity? Because I have several partnerships where I can actually refer other people that are looking for more freelance work. Because if if I've already learned what I can from this partnership and I've kind of moved on, but I still have maintained a great relationship, I can now send referrals and send other SEO specialists to that partnership. So just keep that in mind. If there is someone that is more senior and that has that more experience, don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, do you know anyone that's looking for e-commerce work, or something where you have a gap and you're trying to really grow in that area. So don't be afraid to reach out to trusted connections. And yeah, so I think it's tough when you're in that role and you're kind of pigeonholed into a specific task every day and you just hate it. I think having that additional side work that's supplementing your growth and learning is really going to help you power through and feel motivated throughout the day. Like, oh, I have this other project I'm working on, I'm really excited about. Because at the end of the day, the motivation, it's all kind of driven by that dopamine, which, dopamine comes from the pursuit of a goal. So if you have these goals, but you're feeling, kind of stifled at your current role, you have to figure out a way, how can I pursue a goal on the side? So, just keeping that all in mind. So yeah, that's all I wanted to kind of pop in here and touch on. If anyone has any insights too on their end, like what have you done to spur your growth and connections? I'd love to hear that in the comments. So like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Thanks, guys.